What's up, lovers of whiskey and watchers of YouTube? I'm the Malt Activist, and today we have with us Bunnahabhain's Festival Release from 2023. I'm of course talking about this Canasta Cask. Let's do it. Before we begin, I just want to give a big fat thank you to my first time viewers. Thank you for clicking through to that thumbnail. That means you like things about whiskey. And if you like things about whiskey, then this channel is the one for you. We have reviews, we have lists, we have rants, we have discussions, we have mundane things to talk about. We have sometimes exciting things to talk about, but we always have something to talk about. So if that sounds like a cup of tea, then feel free to subscribe to be a part of this community. It's absolutely 100% free. So if you like what you see, consider subscribing. To my returning viewers, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And to my YouTube members and Patreon gang, you're the reason this channel is still alive. So I'm gonna be honest, my first introduction to Bunnahabhain was kind of average, kind of mediocre. I don't remember what I drank the first time around, but I remember thinking, oh, these are all right, these are not bad, I think they're okay. But then, of course, I tasted some of the more prestige expressions like the 18 and the 25, and I was like, whoa, okay, these guys definitely know how to do some good stuff. This, mind you, is very early on in my whiskey drinking career, and but you know, I didn't really think much of Bunnahabhain. It wasn't always top of mind. I never thought, ooh, let me go and find a new Bunnahabhain, you know. So there was no real emotional connection. Until a fateful day 8 years ago in 2015, when three of us went down to Islay for the very first time and made our way through the picturesque mountain roads, and then we came down right by the water, and boom, the distillery was right there. Probably the most beautiful, picturesque location that you could ever hope for a distillery. Bunnahabhain has it. It is, oh, it just sends shivers down my spine just thinking about making that turn when the whole distillery comes into your vision, and you're like, whoa, this is so cool, you know. And so we made our way into the warehouse. We had a warehouse 9 tasting, and that was the first time I had drunk cask strength whiskey directly from the cask, right there and then. And I was like, holy shit, what is this magic all about? And of course, you know, since that day, I've been a massive fan of Bunnahabhain. There have been a few misses, I'll be honest, but by and large, you know, the majority of the stuff that they put out, especially the FEIS releases, they are tremendous. They're just gorgeous. I love them. Normally, for every FEIS, Bunnahabhain will release 3 different expressions. One of them is super premium, barely get our hands on it. The other one is kind of mid-range. Sometimes you can get your hands on it, sometimes you don't. And the third is always the more affordable one, under the £100 mark roughly, which is what we have in our hands today. So they'll do that, which I think is not a bad practice. So, you know, everybody can sort of you know, get their hands on a Bunnahabhain Festival Release. So, you know, if you're super rich, buy the prestige one. It's too rich for my books, but at least we have in our hands this Canasta Cask. Now, you're probably wondering what this whiskey is all about. So am I. So I've drunk this. I drank it with a bunch of friends, and I have to tell you, man, I really liked it. I thought it was quite nice. I'm loving the stuff Bunnahabhain is doing recently, especially for their festival. I think, was it last year or a year before last? I don't remember. They did a French oak. It can't be a year before last because we were in lockdown. Yeah, last year I think they did a French oak. Was it last year? Shit, I really should do my research, but I don't, and I'm an idiot. But yes, there was this one which was a French oak cask, which one of my favorite whiskeys to date. Just beautiful flavors, lovely. And I'm glad they're keeping up those standards of quality, and this one is no exception. This is what the bottle looks like. There you go. Now, what do we know about this whiskey? Okay, let's start. I've made some notes. I did some research. There's some interesting stuff in here. If I'm wrong about something, please point it out. I'm not an expert on sherry cask, sherry maturations. But if I do make a mistake, please just put it down in the comment below so that I know, so that I stand corrected. Okay, so what do we know? We know this whiskey is bottled at 51.2% ABV. I am not 100% sure whether that's cask strength or not. I don't think so. It's a non-age statement, so it's a young whiskey for sure, and so I don't think it would go down that much. So I don't think this is cask strength. So I'd like to know why they settled down at 51.2. But anyway, I'm not the whiskey maker here. They are. Matured exclusively in Canasta casks. Okay, now for those of you who don't know, Canasta is a type of cream sherry. Wait, before we get into that. Okay, so Canasta casks are basically casks that hold 75% Oloroso and 25% PX. They're aged for roughly 6 years in a Solera system. Okay, so those are the casks used to mature this particular whiskey. This whiskey is, of course, non-chill filtered, natural color. Thank you, Bunnahabhain. Well done. Okay, so that's what we know about the construction of this dram. Now, moving on to Canasta Cream Sherry. Okay, now I hadn't heard about it, to be very honest. So I did a little bit of research. And this is what I found. So Canasta Cream Sherry, apparently very, very popular, is a brand from the Williams and Humbert Bodega. See, I told you. Williams and Humbert Bodega in Jerez. This was a bodega founded by Alexander Williams and Arthur Humbert back in 1877 in Jerez. And essentially they grow 3 types of grapes there. They grow the Palomino, the Pedro Jimenez, and the Muscatel. And basically what they do is they use the Palomino to make Oloroso sherry. They use the PX, of course, to make the PX sherry, and then that sherry, those 2 sherries are then blended together, 75%, 25%, in a Solera vatting system to produce Canasta Cream Sherry. Okay, and that's the cask that's been used here. So quite rare. It's not just a regular Oloroso or a regular PX. And when I say regular, I don't mean this with any disrespect. I just meant the popular sherry casks that you see. So it's not that. This is a mix of Oloroso and PX. To be honest, I was actually a lot more intrigued about this bodega and the different sherries that they were producing. And I was actually quite interested in the Canasta Cream Sherry itself. So it's a sweetened sherry. Apparently 130 grams per liter of sugar goes into this blended drink. And it's a sweetened sherry, apparently very, very, very popular. I hadn't heard about it, to be very honest. So now I'm super curious and I'd love to try and drink this and see what the fuss is all about. So if you can point me in the right direction or send me a bottle, that will be absolutely great. Okay, so I think that's enough on how this whiskey is constructed. Let's drink it, man. Shall we drink it? Let's drink it. I think we should drink it. Let's pour ourselves a dram. There you go. That's what it looks like because it's natural color. And what I've also done today is, just for the sake of nostalgia, I've brought out, there you go. I hope you can see it. I hope really you can see it. This is the official Bunnahabhain distillery glass from the FEIS ILE 2015 when I was there for the very first time. And I remember we were like, kids in a candy store running around going, oh my God, I want to buy this, I want to buy this, I want to buy this, because it was our first time around. And one of the things we would do is we need glasses, festival glasses from every single distillery and make it a collection. And we all bought like 2 or 3 glasses each. And we had more official merchandise from the distilleries than we actually had whiskeys. We bought everything. We bought t-shirts, we bought glasses, we bought coasters, just everything we could find. And that was such a fun time. So I'm I'm commemorating that little memory by using my FEIS ILE 2015 glass to taste this whiskey. So, who said I'm without sentiment? Huh. I'm a sentimental old fool. Okay, so, yeah, Is there anything else? No, we're good. Let us nose this. Those are my doggos running around. Nose not as good as I remember first drinking it, but mind you, I was down 8 drams before I drank this one, so maybe my opinions were a little skewed, my judgment was a little impaired, so there's something slightly off on this nose. I don't know what, maybe it's sulfur, maybe it's a hint of sulfur, maybe, I don't know. Okay, so, but this is what I got, right? So maple syrup, raisins, rum toffee, clove, cinnamon, dark chocolate, savory herbs, and now this rather nagging wet wood. Those are not my dogs, those are the neighbor's dogs. Bloody hell. Yeah, so I don't know if it's sulfur, I don't know if this wet wood element is just an off note that's not agreeing with me. I'm not sure. I'm gonna let this sit for about 10 to 15 minutes to see how it does with oxidization, and if it goes, you know, if it settles down a little bit, becomes a little more crisp, because that's what I've found happens a lot with like meaty sherried whiskeys. If you let them sit for about 15 minutes or so, they become a lot more crisp, they become a little more mellow, and a lot more balanced. So let's do that with this before we actually drink it. Yeah, that wet wood has kind of subsided a little bit, not entirely, so I'm not sure if there's maybe just like a smidge of sulfur in here somewhere. I'm not 100% sure. I could be completely wrong. But for me, any off note in a sherry matured whiskey just screams sulfur all the time, and I'm super sensitive to it. So, but it's subsided now, which is a good thing. I think we can live with it. So far, no real alarm bells. No real alarm bells. Just sit back and relax while we drink this. Chin chin. Creamier on the palate than I thought it was going to be. It's a nice mouthfeel. This is more coffee, roasted nuts, tobacco, cigar box, leather, dark chocolate, and right at the end, some orange peels. But I am getting that slight off note, which should not be there. A touch of bitterness with a hint of see, rotten eggs is such a wrong word, and it's not rotten eggs, but it's there in that vicinity somewhere, that's kind of like poking its nose through and not letting this be a perfect drinking experience. So just a tad. Yeah, there's something just a touch off about this. Look, the good news is 50% of the world is not sensitive to sulfur, and the other 50% is. So chances are you won't get this off note. And if you don't get this off note, then this is probably going to be the perfect drinking experience for you, because they've kind of done everything right. You know, I'm just one of those the unlucky half that is so sensitive to sulfur that even the tiniest bit makes me really point that flavor profile out. And sometimes I wish all the time that I was not sensitive to sulfur, but I am, unfortunately. Is it a gift? Is it a curse? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so look, this is what I'm gonna say. Barring this off note, which I'm not a fan of, it's a perfectly drinkable dram. I like the fact that it's used a somewhat unusual cask for maturation. I haven't heard of many distilleries using canasta cream casks to mature their whiskies in, so kudos to Bunnahabhain for that. I wish the cask selection was just slightly better. Someone with a sulfur sensitive nose could have, I don't know, could have picked this one out from a lineup and rejected it. Maybe there's one cask out of 10 that's, you know, tainting it just a little bit. So for me, yeah, so for me it falls slightly short. So what do I think? Yeah, like I said, you know, I think an accomplished dram if you are not sensitive to sulfur, but if you are, then you will find this off note in there, and I really don't know what to do with it. So I'm going to guess this whiskey is about 6 to 7 years old. Can't be more than that because it feels and tastes young as well. Which means there is possibility of some leftover tainted casks you know, that were treated with sulfur, and now it's kind of found its way into this blend. I wish that wasn't the case because it's becoming stronger every time I drink it a bit more. But you know, just to be fair, I'm going to say that it's not overwhelming. It's a very tiny percentage of the entire flavor bouquet. So if you're not overly picky like I am, and even if you are sensitive to sulfur, I think you could enjoy this dram, and because now it's getting to a little flint gunpowder. Yeah, definitely flint and gunpowder is coming through quite strongly on this one now. So yeah, it is what it is, man. So because of that, I'm going to give this whiskey 6C minus. 6 C minus, yeah, which is, in my opinion, just around average or touch below average. Let's make it average. So I'm not over the moon with this one. I think it's all right. Nothing special to write home about. Only because of that little sulfur element that's coming through, which I don't like personally. It's now evolving into a more sort of gunpowder flint profile, both on the nose and the palate. Yeah, of which I'm not a fan, so it is what it is. But if you're not sensitive to sulfur, then give this a try, and maybe you do like it. I don't know. But yes, not working for me anymore. Which is strange because I really liked it a few days ago when I was sitting down with my friends and drinking. But it was after 7 or 8 drams. So obviously my palate was shot to shit. I was suffering from impaired judgment. I had no clue what I was talking about when I drank it. Oh, I was smoking cigars also at that time. I was in the midst of smoking like 2 fat, full-bodied cigars as well when I drank this. And I was like, this is a great whiskey. What's wrong with this whiskey? And my colleagues, my friends were like, it's not that great. I was like, you guys are just elitists. You're fucking elitists. This is a pretty good dram. As I puffed away on my cigar and eating fried calamari while drinking this and thinking, you know, I was tasting all the flavors in here. But now, on a quiet Monday morning, I sit down alone in my room and I drink this and I realize, I need to have my wits about me when I do this. So there you go, man. That's it. Yeah, average whiskey, slightly below average for me. Not that great, especially if it's a festival release. Though having said that, I still maintain that Bunnahabhain does some amazing festival releases, and just because, you know, one doesn't meet my personal tasting preference doesn't mean it, you know, the brand is bad or the whole, you know, whatever they do is bad. So this is just one man's opinion that shouldn't really matter. Hey, this is just an entertainment channel, dude. This is not an educational channel. This is just entertainment. So there you go. There you go. This was our review of the Bunnahabhain FEIS ILE 2023, matured in Canasta casks. Drinking from this beautiful, nostalgic FEIS ILE 2015 official merchandise glass from the distillery. Reminds me of my fun days in Islay when I was there for the first time. So, okay, I guess I could keep on rambling for the next 20 minutes. It's good for the algorithm, I guess, but not good for you guys because I'm sure you have better things to do. So, like I said, there's no good way to end a video other than I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time, peace.